that'd be a crazy fight. I'm looking at this as the new era of the light heavyweight division. So yeah, I'll close my talking point on the T with that. Really excited for him and all that good stuff. Shout out to my guy. He said, happy late birthday. Yes, that's right. Shout out to everybody here. Yeah, man. 31 years young, getting better, getting more handsome, and just progressing little by little. Let me see. What other talking points do I got left? What are those? I got. Oh, I got this one right here. So I'm gonna go with this right here. We're gonna go to screen share. Go to screen share because very important, very important topic here to discuss in the sport of boxing. We're gonna go to screen share. Hold on. I keep my shit right here. So, and the screen, entire screen, boom. So look, you got Robert Garcia, right? And I want to talk about this because right now Raymond Muratalla he's the new IBF champion. He's a guy that a lot of people are really excited about. He went in there and he beat Andy Cruz, I should say. He beat Andy Cruz, who was a gold medalist, and not just that, it was the way he beat him. The fact that he was able to get to him early in the early rounds, and he showed a lot of IQ and ring craft and those kind of things. So his stock's at an all-time high. And Robert Garcia has come out and said, look, how about a fight in Southern California between Raymond Muratalla and Camarón Zepeda, William Zepeda? And I'll tell you this, that's a banger fight. To me, that's a fight that's made for California. You got, of course, as we've seen many times in boxing, Mexican-American versus Puro Mexico. And those fights always do very, very well. And if in terms of styles, that's an intriguing fight because you got Raymond Muratalla, who's a front foot dominant fighter, who does have some craft, versus a guy who's going to bring the fight right to you. So, I think their styles mesh very, very well. I think that fight would do good business in like the stuff in the Dignity Health Sports Park, the War Grounds, where they've had many, many fun fights over the years. Why not? William Zepeda is a guy that is looking to get back in the fold. He hasn't fought, and we haven't really heard much from William Zepeda since he lost to Shakur Stevenson. So this is a fight that I feel gets him right back into the mix. It gets him right back to potentially getting him a world title shot because not a world title shot. It gets him a world title, right? It makes him a world champion. And I feel like, based on what we saw with Teofimo Lopez and Shakur, a lot of respect has to be shown to William Zepeda because he was able to win rounds off Shakur. He was able to show some uncomfortable moments from Shakur. And we all know how good of a boxer Shakur Stevenson is. So, his loss has actually aged well in light of the recent Teofimo Lopez fight with Shakur Stevenson. So I would very much welcome this fight. I think it would be a chance for Raymond Muratalla to fight a volume puncher, an elite volume puncher, because Raymond Muratalla, he's fought some good crafty guys. He fought some guys that had awkward styles, but he's never fought anybody with the elite volume punching, in my opinion, of a guy like William Zepeda. It's hard to replicate and duplicate the elite volume punching style of what William Zepeda brings to the table. So I would very much like this fight, and I would highly advise that if Robert Garcia is serious about getting that fight done, he better speed it up because Albert Bell, who I made a video about recently, Albert Bell has an IBF final eliminator due soon. He's not going to fight Lucas Body, but he'll probably fight like Joe Cordina or something like that. They're going to go down the rankings, and he's in a fight in an IBF eliminator fight. And I think whoever it's against, I think he's going to win, and he's going to be your mandatory. And that's not really a big money fight. So if you want to get this fight, get it done soon because there's going to come a time where we're going to see if Raymond Muratalla and Robert Garcia will allow Raymond Muratalla to take the Albert Bell test because a lot of these fighters don't want to take the Albert Bell test. Not Jamel Herring, not Shakur Stevenson, not a lot of guys. So if you're going to do it, I'd say you get it done quickly and swiftly because if not, Albert Bell will come knocking, and inevitably it'll be that time to go ahead and decide what you're going to do. And I can see a scenario. I can see a scenario where you see Raymond Muratalla, vacating that belt. Just being honest. So we'll see. You already know I'm backing my guys, Peter Howard. We need him back ASAP. Yeah, he's good for boxing. He's a very good volume puncher. He's someone that, like I said, his defeat to Shakur Stevenson has aged very, very well. And okay, I give Raymond Muratalla his respect. He won a legitimate world title fight that I really enjoyed with Andy Cruz. But like I said, he's an IBF champion, and I love the IBF. You know, the pride and the glory of the IBF has exposed and will continue to expose many a men. They are very much a rules sanctioning body, and their mandatories are oftentimes guys that you don't really want to fight, that don't get you a lot of money, that are hard to beat. And Albert Bell is coming. I think Albert Bell is coming, and I think that there's going to be a decision that's going to have to be made, because I think he will become the mandatory challenger at some point in time, because he just won't go away. So if you want to make a fight, whether it's with Zepeda or in the case of Rap Machine, who's out here advocating for his fellow Filipino fighters, if you want Mark Moxile to get his shot at the brass ring, if you want Mark Moxile to explore the opportunity to become world champion once again at 135, then you know, go ahead and do that fight. You know, make a fight with somebody happen, because, like I said, maybe Mark Moxile winds up fighting Arabelle, because I know he's up there in the rankings too. And if it could be Arabelle, maybe he becomes mandatory challenger. But either way, whether it's Moxile, whether it's Bell, I do believe that Raymond Muratalla is going to have a very, very difficult mandatory challenger, and there will be a difficult decision to be made one way or the other. So if you want to explore picking William Zepeda as a voluntary defense, I wouldn't waste no time. I would, you know, get on the phone with Golden Web Promotions and Zanfer and all them guys and see what's what. Yes, but Albert Bell was already ordered to fight in an eliminator fight. You understand? With Lucas Body. Body declined the eliminator. He's going to fight Floyd Schofield for the vacant WBA title. So therefore, Albert Bell is going to fight in the eliminator, and they're going to go down the rankings. So it could be Joe Cordina. It could be Moxile. We'll see how it goes. I don't care who it is. I think Albert Bell's going to beat either one of them. Joe Cordina will go to the WBR with Mason. I think Moxile and Muratalla. Unless Muratalla picks him as a voluntary, which he might, because that's an all-action fight. He's a former champion. He has an aggressive Filipino style. He might, but Moxile might have to fight Arabelle, you know. And I ain't no Arabelle fan. I didn't just start. I just recently started talking about Arabelle in one of my recent lives, because, you know, at some point fair is fair. Like a guy wins 28 fights, dudes don't want to fight him. You have to give the guy his shot. So I'm going to talk about him a little bit more, because I hate when fighters don't get their shot when they earn it. My man Paulie says the IBF is most definitely the most strict when it comes to the fighters having to face the mandatory challenges. They don't care who you are. You're going to have to fall through or vacate. And yeah, and not just that. They don't even care if things happen to you that are out of your control. When the 9 months come up, you got to go ahead and unless you work out a unification deal, you got to fight your mandatory, you know? So to me, the best sanctioning body, the best belt, and arguably the coolest looking belt, because when you see the IBF title in person with the red diamonds, it's pretty nice. You know, I put it up there with the WBC as the nicest looking belt in boxing. But yeah, those are my